Sentenced to be a Hero is a dark fantasy story set in a kingdom where justice is harsh and mercy is rare. The narrative follows a man condemned as a criminal and forced into a brutal system that turns the worst offenders into state-controlled warriors. Rather than executing dangerous prisoners, the crown repurposes them, binding them by magic and sending them to fight threats too lethal for ordinary soldiers. The series opens with the protagonist at his lowest point, publicly disgraced, stripped of status, and marked as expendable. His sentence is not death, but something arguably worse. He must survive endless battles on behalf of the same regime that condemned him. The protagonist begins as someone embittered and distrustful, driven primarily by the instinct to survive. He is no shining champion at the outset. Forced into the role of hero, he initially rejects the title, seeing it as hypocrisy. However, as he fights monsters and uncovers the truth behind the kingdom's conflicts, his motivations shift. Survival turns into defiance, and defiance grows into a desire for autonomy. He wants freedom from magical shackles and from the political machinery that uses people as tools. Over time, he also develops a reluctant sense of responsibility toward fellow condemned warriors who share his fate. Though he claims not to care about the kingdom, his actions gradually suggest otherwise. He seeks not only to clear his name, but to expose the rot within the system that sentenced him. The antagonistic force operates on multiple levels. On the surface, there are the monstrous enemies threatening the realm, creatures whose origins are tied to ancient calamities and forbidden magic. These beings exist to destroy or corrupt, and they serve as immediate physical obstacles. Yet the deeper antagonists are human. High-ranking officials and power brokers within the kingdom view the penal hero program as efficient and necessary. Their goal is stability at any cost. They believe fear maintains order, and that sacrificing criminals for the greater good is justified. Some among them harbor more personal ambitions, using the chaos of monster attacks to consolidate authority and silence dissent. For these figures, the protagonist is both asset and liability, useful on the battlefield, but dangerous if he uncovers too much. The tension of the story comes from this layered conflict. While the protagonist battles external threats, he also navigates manipulation from commanders who treat him as disposable. Trust is scarce. Alliances among the condemned warriors are fragile, shaped by desperation rather than loyalty. As secrets surface about the origin of the monsters and the true purpose of the sentencing program, the protagonist realizes that the kingdom's leadership may be complicit in perpetuating the crisis. This revelation sharpens his goal. He no longer fights solely to survive or to escape punishment. He fights to break the cycle that turns human lives into weapons. The narrative maintains a grim tone, balancing brutal combat with political intrigue. Redemption is presented as uncertain rather than guaranteed. Heroism in this world is not about glory, but about choice. The protagonist was sentenced to be a hero against his will, yet the story asks whether genuine heroism can emerge from coercion. By confronting both inhuman monsters and the calculating rulers behind the curtain, he moves closer to defining what kind of man he wants to be: criminal, weapon, or something far more dangerous to the powers that control his fate.